Mark My Words Productions.
I gotta ask you this question. It's a really simple question. I know you can answer it. And if I don't answer it, my listeners will be upset. And I want to ask you, who are you? Who is Marc Marcel?
Man, that answer probably changes every 6 months. And right now, the answer that I'm going to give right now is I'm really just a story. Everything is just a story. Really, we're all living stories. Nothing is really official. Nothing is ever solid. This is what you are. First of all, I'm not a poet. I used to have discussions with people. It's like, people who work at the post office. Sometimes people get labeled as whatever occupation or hobbies they really have as that's who they are. But people who work at the post office, their personality isn't a postal worker. My personality isn't a poet, isn't a spoken word artist. I'm just a story. What am I, truthfully, is just an energy, living out these great adventures. And when you really recognize that, then the story that you are, it can add in so many dynamic chapters to it because you realize you're just a story just living out great adventures. And basically, I just try to let everybody else see that they're just a story too, so they can have as many great adventures and stop getting upset at the story. You know what I'm saying? It's just a story.
People calm the flip down. It's just a story. It's not that deep.
Exactly.
You were never born and you will never die. Calm down.
Exactly. But I understand. I totally understand, people who can't wrap their heads around it. I totally understand it because we are in this physical reality and it's so consuming that, it really, you really kind of got to go through a lot of things, probably get knocked down a lot to realize, oh my God, it is just a story. Calm down, so.
I love that analogy that life is a story. We're a story. And, there's so much power in that. Like stories, you can write it, you can rewrite it.
Yeah.
You can share it with the world or not. You can keep your own
to touch on that.
No.
Exactly. And to touch on that, and people see the story differently. So that's why I feel like, my answer, I feel like that's a good question that who am I? And I feel like the answer I gave, it changes every 6 months. People see me differently. So really, I'm just a story. I'm whatever story you think I am. So you take control of the story and you change it to whatever you want to be,
Let's talk about the change in the story when people were saying, okay, guys, I hear you talking life as a story, but how the flip do I change the story that I have? Because this story, I have no control. No matter, things are happening that's out of my control at work, my relationship, my finances. I can't change the story. How would you encourage people to change their story? Is that by being quiet? That's it. You just be quiet. We dropped him, or he dropped. He gone. He'll be back. But that's a good way. How'd you change your story? Be quiet. Stop trying to be correct. Stop trying to be right. Just be still. He'll be back. I was like, okay, that's a nice way to do with it. You're listening to the Ask Life Coach at a radio show on lifeconversationsradio.com. Is Mark back? Let's see. He's back. So, Mark, just before you...
I guess somebody doesn't want to tell me how to change it, huh?
Well, what I got from your response was that people are saying, well, how do I change my story? I got money issues. I can't find the right mate. Or my relationship is not working. The government is trying to hold me back. I owe child support or whatever the case may be. And what I got from your response is, first of all, shut up.
know what? I knew you was gonna go there, and it makes perfect sense because you know what? All that is just complaining. You're so right, and that doesn't even help the story. No, I mean, but you're so right, and it was kind of almost fitting that I got cut off because that's almost like the perfect answer to it. But I mean, to touch up on it a little bit. Other than that, I mean, it is changing the story is really just a mind frame about the story. Because being that you understand that you are a story, you understand that people will look at you however they feel. You can choose to look at the story however you feel. And once you do that, then your feelings will manipulate the story. And because, first of all, the physical here shows you that everything really isn't before your eyes. It's just an illusion. Nothing, the atoms don't even touch each other. So, something's manipulating it. Something in thought, consciousness is manipulating everything we see before our eyes. Thought, and it's creating a story. So you yourself, if you just change the story, if you yourself just think differently about it, and channel, and it's funny because when you say channel your thinking, your thoughts, people think it is so much more spiritual than what it is. All it is really just a choice to change your thoughts about it, and the story will listen to you and it will change. So it's as simple as that, but a lot of people don't understand how simple it is, and then they get upset at the story if it maybe gives them a twist. Because I tell people all the time, you have to be careful what you ask for from the universe, because the universe will give it to you exactly what you want. But a lot of times people don't ask for exactly what they want, and they get these twists to what they want. For instance, let's take a basic example. Somebody may say, hey, I want a hot, intelligent girlfriend. All right, cool. The universe will give you a hot, intelligent girlfriend, but they may add to it that she's a little bit crazy. You didn't say nothing about that. You want a hot, intelligent girlfriend. You got a hot, intelligent girlfriend, but you know what? She's also crazy. And now you got that. So you have to be careful with the type of things you ask for. And also, in that, you kind of don't want to ask for too much, because it's just like that. You kind of want to let things kind of flow the way they're going to flow, because the universe is going to flow the way it's going to flow. It's going to go. There's nothing, you can't fight the universe, So a lot of times you should really it really is changing how you look at the story and stop really trying to manipulate and try to change it all around and to the point to where it takes you out of your comfort zone. It really is all in your mind. And when you see that, the story becomes so easy, and it starts riding for you like you're on a bicycle. And like the first time you got on a bike when you were a kid, it was hard. You had to have help. You had to have people telling you how to ride. You had to have your father or your mother or your friends or whatever helping you with it. But after a while, you know how to ride a bike. You got it. And you know what? Sometimes you may stop riding the bike. But you know what? When you're riding, but you know how they say you never forget how to ride a bike? Once you take the information and once you gather it, there's nothing that can take it away from you. You know it. Everything else after that will just be you disregarding it.
I know they give me respect, even before walking the venue, they see it tatted on my neck.
Mark My Words Production.